This is News on the Hour from 66 WNBC, New York.
Good evening, I'm Frank Cipolla, and here's what's happening at 7:01. Police in Harlem say they have the 4 teens who set a welfare hotel on fire overnight, a blaze that injured 30 people, 2 of them critically. The fire was set, according to police, following a lover's quarrel involving a $35 ring. Some of the residents along 138th Street are still confused and angry.
They got to take it out on all of us. That's not right. And all the other people, the good people, got to suffer because of the bad people.
A lot of innocent people got hurt because of some ring, and that's really not fair.
The blaze was set on the 5th floor of that building, the floor where a teenage girl lives, the girl involved in the dispute. Fires were just part of the problem in Southern California yesterday. Today it was time for councilmen, mayors, and the state's governor to see the damage up close.
Governor Duke Majan came to Whittier. Steve Futterman for NBC Radio Network News in Whittier.
And where there's smoke, there's fire. And in the case of smoke on board airplanes, the fire could be big enough to bring the U.S. government to a screeching halt. North Carolina Senator Jesse Helms has threatened to filibuster the U.S. budget bill if a measure to ban smoking on board airliners is part of it. The bill was once considered a long shot, but now has a fair chance of becoming law. An angry exchange between a couple of teens on Long Island ended with a stabbing today.
Suffolk County DA Rich Lazio, Jim Ayer, WNBC News.
Also making headlines today, Governor Tom Kean is back from the Far East, calling his 2-week trade mission to China and Japan a success. Governor Kean says he'll go ahead with plans to open up a New Jersey trade office in Tokyo sometime in mid-November. WNBC News Time is 6:03. Don Cricky on sports coming up. WNBC weather, mostly sunny and breezy today, highs in the low 70s. Cloudy tonight, chance of showers, lows in the mid-50s. Variably cloudy tomorrow night with more showers likely, and mostly sunny on Sunday. Currently at 72 degrees, and that's what's happening. I'm Frank Cipolla, WNBC News.
This is News on the Hour from 66 WNBC, New York.
Good afternoon, I'm Frank Cipolla, and here's what's happening at 4 o'clock. What happened with Robert Bork is history because the president has a new man in mind. Appeals Court Judge Douglas Ginsburg, nominated this afternoon by the president to become the next Supreme Court Justice. Bill Grudy has more.
Bill Grudy, NBC Radio Network News, the White House.
The vote on the Ginsburg nomination is for another day. In the meantime, the Senate has given preliminary approval today to a bill that would ban smoking on domestic airline flights that last 90 minutes or more. The ban could cover more than half of all domestic flights. Rupert Murdoch is reportedly looking to dump the New York Post. It's not as though Murdoch doesn't like the newspaper business. It's just that he has to get rid of the newspaper because under federal law, he can't own a newspaper and a television station in the same city. Murdoch owns Channel 5. Talking about publishing and other things, this story now from WNBC's Dave DeMauvier on a state publication by Education Commissioner Edward Sobel that some call unfair to minorities. Brokers on Wall Street did all they could to ignore today's anniversary of the 1929 stock market crash. The market opened with a big gain today and kept rising, closing up more than 91 points. The mayor of Newark, New Jersey, claiming this afternoon that a Virginia politician is playing dirty by using Newark in her latest ad campaign. The ad, says Mayor Sharp James, accuses the candidate's opponent of dropping the entire city of Newark right on top of their neighborhood by encouraging expansion in that Virginia city. WNBC News Time is 4:04, and at 4:04, WNBC wants you to know the Fortune Society tutoring program needs volunteers to teach reading and math to ex-offenders. No experience is necessary. To find out more, call 212-664-6666. WNBC Sports, all the home teams have the night off tonight. Meanwhile, the NHL will hold a hearing to decide whether or not to stick with the penalties levied against Dave Brown of the Flyers. Brown hit Ranger forward Tomas Sandstrom Monday night, injuring his jaw. Sports night tonight on 66 WNBC. Join host Dave Sims and his guests, among them Syracuse basketball coach Jim Boeheim. WNBC weather, variably cloudy and cool for the rest of the afternoon, highs in the 50s. Then partly cloudy, cool tonight, lows about 40. Sunny to start off with tomorrow, then clouds moving back in again, highs about 55. And sunny and breezy Saturday, Halloween, highs near 60. Currently, It's 53 degrees, and that's what's happening. I'm Frank Cipolla, WNBC News. Good afternoon. I'm Frank Cipolla, and here's what's happening at 5 o'clock. Throw away a Bork and bring in a Ginsburg. That's the order from the president, who today nominated appeals court judge Douglas Ginsburg to replace Robert Bork as the new Supreme Court justice nominee. The Senate will have to confirm the Washington, D.C. judge. The president, in fact, has already begun his campaign to get Ginsburg the nod. Ginsburg, like Bork, is considered a conservative. Real estate magnate Donald Trump has joined those supporting the construction of a pro baseball stadium in New Jersey. Trump says it will generate lots of money for the Garden State, while the League of Women Voters and the head of the New Jersey Senate Finance Committee says the money that would be wasted building the stadium could go to other more pressing problems in New Jersey. If you missed it last night, artifacts from the Titanic were displayed on live TV, including lots of waterlogged cash and trinkets bearing the initials RLB. A check of the passenger list shows only one passenger with the initials RLB on that ill-fated night, Mr. R.L. Beckwith. Stock market bounced back today, closing up 92 points in the shortened session. WNBC News time is 5:03. The news is being brought to you by Zenith. And at 5:04, WNBC wants you to know the American Red Cross needs volunteers for the New York City Marathon this Sunday. To volunteer, call 212-787-1000. WNBC weather, partly cloudy and cool tonight, lows about 40. Then sunny to start off tomorrow. Clouds moving back in later in the day, and highs about 55. Sunny and breezy on Saturday, Halloween, highs near 60. Good evening, I'm Frank Cipolla, and here's what's happening at 7:01. New York's medical examiner has been given the heave-ho. After days of hinting, Mayor Koch has dropped the other shoe, telling medical examiner Elliot Gross that his services are no longer needed. Last week, Koch confirmed newspaper reports which said he wanted Gross to leave. Gross ignored them, and today he was canned. Gross won't say much, but he did tell the mayor by letter that he thinks the findings of a special mayoral panel that suggested his ouster lack any merit. President Reagan is hoping his latest Supreme Court nominee will merit the support of the U.S. Senate. Washington, D.C. appeals court judge Douglas Ginsburg got the nod today, and a warning for the Senate from the president.
Let us resolve this time that guarding that independence will be the Senate's highest priority.
Ginsburg, like Judge Robert Bork, is said to be a conservative. Times, they are changing. Case in point, Rockland County, where it seems as though crime is becoming an all too familiar occurrence. The colleagues of two American journalists killed in Afghanistan say they now believe their associates did not die in an ambush, but were killed in a Soviet air attack and buried at the attack site. The duo from New Jersey and in Afghanistan to make a documentary were killed just 10 miles from the capital of Kabul. And at 7:05, WNBC wants you to know the National Safety Council reminds you this Halloween to tell your trick-or-treaters to cross only at corners, follow traffic signals, and walk on sidewalks and not streets. And now from the WNBC Traffic and Transit Network, here's Jane Gennaro.
Well, thank you, Frank Cipolla.